they were looking for ideas to find ways to get him down to that event and reduce out-of-pocket costs. And so they ran a GoFundMe. And obviously family, friends, public can end up going on GoFundMe and literally give them the funds to go to the event.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a really good answer. Like I asked, can he do that? Will this bite him in the butt later on down the road?
Yeah.
Go through the scenario and how you would handle that.
So it is tricky,
but short answer is he can do it.
Short answer is he can do it. There are just, as with everything with the NCAA, there are a lot of loopholes that you need to be aware. Not loopholes, that's not the correct term, but there's just a lot of things you need to be aware of. The best thing you can do is
playing field. You got to know the playing field. You got to know the rules.
Correct. And so before you ever do anything as an athlete, double check. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's reaching out with you guys like he did, which was fantastic. If you are potentially getting recruited, check with your school compliance office first. But so the situation was, like you said, he needed assistance, right? The short answer is yes, but there are some restrictions, right? So the NCAA, and I pulled it up, the language they use is actual and necessary expenses. So this is pre-college enrollment. You're not out of school yet. You can have friends and family. Family is the better option if you can keep it family only. It's just safer. It is. But they can pay for your actual and necessary expenses. So what it costs to enter into that event. Okay, so they can pay for what it costs for that registration, for the travel to get there. Okay, if it's relating to that event, yes, it can probably be covered. Now, you need to cap it. Okay, so if it costs $575, let's just say, for instance, I don't know where I got that number, but if it costs $575, once you hit that amount, you can't accept anymore, because then you're accepting over the actual
and
expenses.
You're technically getting paid to play.
Then you're crossing over into, you're accepting money to go play. You're making a profit.
It attacks your amateur status.
Correct. And the last thing you want to do as a high school athlete is do something that jeopardizes your amateurism status, because you're either going to lose a year. You only get 4. You're going to lose a year of college eligibility, or if it's serious enough, you just won't have any. Okay, and then you're out of options. So anytime you're accepting funds, be very, 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 very cautious.
Can you define real quick what amateurism is, or what amateur status is for people that don't know?
Basically, the NCAA wants to make sure, very at the most general level, the NCAA wants to make sure that you have never been a professional. And they define professional as you're getting paid, you're getting some kind of benefit, whether it's a sponsorship or gear or
a meal,
a car ride,
a photocopy.
A single meal probably wouldn't cross you over that, but like if you're like, let's just say, for instance, your AAU coach, let's go to basketball. If your AAU coach is paying your rent so that you play on his team, you're a professional.
What happens if the player stays with you?
What do you mean? Oh, stays with you, like you need to be a little cautious there too.
Because then they're feeding you,
yes,
they're housing you.
Yeah. So we've had that issue in my very short 2 years.
Well, that was the whole Michael Orr situation.
Yeah. And they're like I said, it's all these things are going to depend situation to situation. Like with NCAA rules, there's really no bright line rule. Here's how you do it. Here's how you don't do it. Like it depends on that exact situation.
It's the epitome of a Pandora's box.
Yeah.
Like every single situation is a Pandora box.
Yeah. It's tricky. I mean, the smallest things that you don't even think of can cross over into that. But the amateurism thing is just make sure you're not getting paid in any way to go play for, your sport, to go play baseball. Make sure the Rawlings Tigers aren't paying you to play, right? That'd be number one. But it gets tricky when it gets into, taking money to go play in that event, right? You just have to make sure that you're doing it properly. Accept it only from family if you can. only accept the amount necessary. Stay away from people that give money to universities. Like Spiker, if you give
from a donor to Missouri State baseball,
let's just say,
and I know Missouri State's going to go to that event,
don't accept money from you. Would be my recommendation.
You remember the whole Miami football deal back in the was it early 2000s?
What happened there
with Neville Shapiro?
Oh,
he was, I think that was his name, but he was a big booster and well-off guy. I think he was into finance, and he loved Miami football. Miami football was really good back in those days, and you'd always see, I think it's Neville, but anyway, you'd always see him the smoke that they'd run out of. Well, he'd always be standing right there on that field with the Miami football jersey on, and then long story short, he was into the Miami night scene, wanted to have the players out with him, so he was giving them all kinds of improper benefits, basically treating them. The whole story was because they did a 30 for 30 series on ESPN. The Miami University football players were being bigger celebrities and being treated better than the Miami Dolphins football players who were professional in that area.
Yeah,
it was a bigger deal to be a Hurricane than a Dolphin.
Yeah.
And so they were accepting all kinds of improper benefits.
Get the death sentence like SMU. SMU got the death sentence.
Nope. And they, So long story short, he was doing it to become more popular, be in the in crowd, giving them money, giving them shoes, giving them this, that, whatever, all kinds of club money, stuff like that. And it was obviously that was against amateurism status.